What up YouTube, we are coming at you with a Demon Slayer Mugen Train review. So I checked this film out over the weekend. I was waiting for ages, literally ages, and last week my friend's WhatsApp me and says, yo, it's here. What do you mean what's here? It says Mugen Train, it's here. I was like, what do you mean it's here? So originally, this thing was aired back in October last year, and since then you can't find a decent copy of this thing to watch anywhere. So I went on websites and you can find people with cams and stuff, and I was like, you know what, it's Demon Slayer, man, I want to watch it. Like, this was like an anime that there's not many animes. A lot of times, because I'm busy, putting all that focus into watching anime can be pretty difficult if you're working at the same time. So if I'm working, I put some dub anime on the background. If you have a sub anime on, I find that a lot of times that you don't know what's actually going on. But this was so good. I started this thing in dub. It was so good within the first few episodes. When I started it in dub, it was like 4 or 5 episodes in the first season, and I was like, I can't wait for more. I jumped onto sub and I rewatched it again in sub. I love Demon Slayer, one of my favorite animes, like top 10. I would say top 5 animes of all time. Demon Slayer is right there. It was just so good. So loved everything about it. Been a huge Demon Slayer fan. Even got the Tojiro face mask as well with that green and black checkered pattern. I had to represent, and the figurines and stuff. So I'm all out. Demon Slayer, awesome. Anyway, I couldn't wait for the movie. And the movie finally dropped this weekend. Had to watch it, and it was available on dub and sub. I was like, oh shit, I want to watch it the original in sub, and you get the emotion. I mean, with dub, it's all right, it's great. I mean, if I had to say dub wise, Dragon Ball would be the dub anime that I'll watch. Couldn't watch that in sub at all. I can't do it. But every other anime, if I can watch it in sub, I'll watch it in sub if I really enjoy the anime. Otherwise, I'll just watch it in dub because I don't really care that much. But this, had to watch it in sub. Absolutely loved it from the start. You get a whole sort of build up. Basically, it's centered around the group, the good old group. They go to it takes off from where the anime left off. So literally, it's like what One Piece does, in a sense. They have the main quest, and then they sort of journey out and do this little movie, which is like part of the main, but it's not actually part of the main. So which I really enjoy because it ties in with the events that are going on, and it's not like a separate sort of entire thing. You get other sort of stuff, like for example Bleach, where they do like a sub sort of arc, and it just makes no sense. It's just random, and they keep it in the main, and they do a movie. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. I absolutely loved this anime, loved this movie. It was just great. So the guys go on the train. They basically have to find out what's actually going on. These people are dying. There's 200 passengers on board, so their job is to protect all the passengers, because they don't want to see any other people getting hurt or getting injured. So essentially that's what the premise is. And then they encounter Rengoku, who's like the flame Hashira, and he's like completely OP in this thing. Oh, this guy is like on a different level. So when you watch the film, you'll see exactly the power difference between the gang, how strong they are, because you see them during the actual first season. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend, don't watch them. The best thing to do, I would recommend, if you're new to Demon Slayer, watch this series, then watch the movie. If you go into this watching like the movie, you may not understand the characters, the relationships, the comedic jokes, the aspects about it. You might say, what's going on? But yeah, definitely check it out. So before I get into the actual discussion about the movie, I would give it a rating. I would say 8.5, 9. Actually, give it a 9 out of 10. The amount of times that this movie, the fight scenes were just epic. Like, seriously epic. Every time something happened, I was just making those weird faces like, oh shit. If you love anime that's straight to the point, action, crazy stuff that's going on, I mean, Demon Slayer, if you watch Demon Slayer, you know exactly how intense, how awesome it is. But this is just on a whole new level. Like the different levels that they've got of like the different abilities, like 3rd gear, 4th gear, all this sort of shit that they were doing. It was just insane. And I was rating, again, I would say solid 9 out of 10. I can't say any. You know what? If you haven't seen it, go out there. It's so worth watching. Probably the best anime movie I've seen in years, like literally years. So good, and I so want them to keep continuing it. This anime is so good. There's so much promise. Love the characters. Love everything about it. I mean, the chemistry between the main character, the whole connection you get with him. You find out exactly his past, his emotions. If you watch the season, you know exactly what he's been through, the turmoils, the struggles that he has, about losing his basically his entire family, and the whole revenge he's got, and the burden that he's got basically is to look after his sister, who's now turned into a demon, and for him to basically just go along and seek revenge, and also find a way to convert her back from a demon back to a human. You see a side of his friends as well. His friends have the characters just work so well. They've got just the right balance. I mean, the comedic aspect, the whole relationship they all have together. They're all unique. There's no character, I would say, part of the group that I would just say just fizzled out. They've got their own backstory. They've got their own character development, and it just works really well. And then obviously, when you encounter the Flame Hashira, you see how insane, how his abilities, compare to the gang, and he's just on a totally new level. He's doing abilities that they can't even comprehend. So they're going into discussions here. So the movie, basically, these guys go onto this train. They want to investigate what's going on. These passengers are all basically dying. So apparently there's demons on the train. Demons appear out of nowhere. They take out these demons. But then obviously when they take out these demons, the main demon appears. So the main demon's ability is basically where he now can put you into a dream state and lock you into a dream, and you can't awake from that dream. So obviously in the actual movie you get to experience what's going on in terms of the backstory. So you get to like find out, I mean, a lot what they've gone through as well. I mean, I would have preferred to see more of the backstory of Inosuke and whatever the guy's name as well, the Lightning Kids game. Then fucking hell, man. But I would have liked to actually know some more of the backstory about the sort of the main characters as well. In the sense, you basically got the crazy ball guy, just basically in a cave, saying these are my minions, and basically we're gonna fight this train. So I kind of knew what was going on, and you sort of see that as well. And then you've got the crazy Lightning Kid with that weird ability where basically he's on a different level when he doesn't even know what's going on. So he's scared shitless about, he's on the train, there's demons, there's this and there's that, and when he's asleep or something just activates, and he's just like fucking Super Saiyan Mark 10 with that lightning. But yeah, awesome abilities, awesome stuff. I would have liked to see like more about the dream state, involving them. We didn't get as much. We got more about the main character, Toshiro, him being basically put into a dream state where he's back with his family are awake, they're all good, they're all happy, and him basically trying to fight out of this make-believe reality. And obviously these demons, basically you got these kids to basically get these needles and puncture their souls in a sense, and they have to sort of, again, I would say, if I had to critique, I would have liked to see, you find out exactly how Tojiro actually is able to escape this dream reality. So he commits suicide. Every time he commits suicide, and you get the sense that and afterwards during the fight, Inosuke sort of stops him and says, "Hey, this is reality now. Don't cut your neck." So he sort of stops him there, which I kind of like. But I would have seen, to see how My Lightning Kid and Mr. Ball Guy would have escaped. Exactly what did they do to escape this reality? Did they just like did the Ball Guy just did he try and kill the little kid that was trying to puncture the and then the little kid jumped out of the dream, or how did he escape from that sort of dream state? And yeah, I would have liked to know more about that, but they didn't touch on that too much. And then finally they sort of battle the main sort of the villain here, who's the demon who's putting them to sleep every time he basically does his ability. I found that he's a bit underpowered. He wasn't too strong. So yeah, they finally managed to sort of. I found that this was like really stupid. So they're on the train here. There's 8 carts. The Flame of Shira says, I'm going to take out 5 carts. This guy is hella quick. He's just like going everywhere like crazy. So he takes out 5 carts. They're just basically messing around with like 3 carts, and out of nowhere, like, you know what, we're going to go for the front cart because that must be the head, which is like the most sort of like cliche thing ever. So I found that was a bit sort of and then obviously then that the demon itself basically getting defeated, you know, every time he cuts his neck and stuff, and he then finally becomes a train. So I mean, I would have actually preferred, I mean, there's 200 passengers there, I would have preferred the actual demon to maybe like control, like, or like do some sort of puppeteering sort of string stuff like you saw in the actual first season, for him to actually control the passengers, or maybe change the passengers to demons and then they have to basically go through the struggle. Or maybe they're having passengers in this dream state and then have them like in a dream but also being controlled by the demon, and then basically trying to fight these passengers off, like some sort of like Train to Busan sort of like scenario, but then not trying to actually kill the passengers but then subduing the passengers. So you see him doing this sort of knockout thing to these kids that are trying to use needles and punch his necks. So you see this sort of ability that Tojiro does, where he's basically putting these kids to sleep who essentially try to puncture the soul. So that sort of stuff, you know, in the dream state, they're basically going through all these 200 passengers and putting them all back to sleep, or knocking them out basically, to make sure that we can't basically hit them, or, you know, they're not going to hurt the passengers, maybe defending the passengers but not in like a non-lethal way, and then finally getting to the boss, maybe try and take him out, instead of the actual boss becoming the train, and then for them to actually cut through this boss's sort of neck. I would have done differently. I mean, you guys can, whoever's watching this video can probably, you know, critique that, you know, what do you think, should they have done that differently? But then finally, the icing on the cake, oh my days, the icing on the cake was the final fight scene. Oh, the final fight scene was epic. So you see the Flame Hashira go all out now he's at like power level times 10. These guys just watching ahead going, what the hell. So you see them fighting power level, like, going crazy, and then you see the huge difference between this demon, this Mugen train demon who's putting them to sleep and going, I'm going to become an upper level demon, this and that. The guy was dreaming. The guy was just dreaming. If you compare his level to the guy to that one of the upper third demons that fought this Flame Hashira, that guy was on a whole new level. So this guy's got like a martial arts master, regenerative abilities and stuff, but he's just doing this sort of like punching the air, shooting these projectiles at the Flame Hashira, going crazy. But yeah, I actually thought at one time, you know, at any point he could say, look, I'm about to die and I'll become a demon. It would be like a huge crazy twist, you know, we'll say I'm at death's door, but I'm gonna die, I don't want to die, and then for him to maybe say, yes, I'll join you, and then basically the gang trying to basically fight for their lives or run away or do something crazy like that. That would have been kind of cool to see that as well. Maybe director's cut, who knows. But the way that they ended it was kind of sick. I would have hoped that we saw more of the Flame Hashira rather than do like a Game of Thrones thing and just killing him off, because awesome guy. You got to see a lot of his backstory. Finally towards the end, you know, he sees his mother who passes away, and you see his whole backstory, you know what happens, and there's like a touching scene. The entire thing was like really sort of like gut wrenching. You say, you know, this guy, you just built a bond with him, you just got to know him, you know. I would have preferred to see more character development, but, you know, I wasn't sad with the way they did it, but I would have preferred they actually made it a bit longer. And then towards the end as well, you know, I would have preferred if the demon actually got taken down. You know, he was being held, the sun was coming up, and he's like, I need to get the hell out of it, I would have preferred if they managed to subdue him, you know, if all the gang just jumped this guy, just like stopped him from going anywhere. But instead you get Toshiro, who throws his sword which is crazy. It's like now I'm thinking to the guy, you've thrown your sword now. The sword's now in this demon. This demon's now run away with your sword. What the hell are you gonna do now? So Tojiro has his ability with his sword, this black sword that he has, where he's able to basically summon these water tempest sort of like spirits and stuff. But I mean, can he still do it now without the sword? How would he get the sword back? Who knows, man. But yeah, again, love the movie. A couple little critiques there, but apart from that, you know, I can't fault it too much, man. I mean, this it was just epic. One of the best anime movies to watch. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. You know, and tell me what you think. You know, I mean, I've left my rating already. Gave it a 9. Do you think you know? Do you think it's a 10? Do you think it's maybe lower? What else did you critique about it? You know. Anyway, this has been Ace. Hope you enjoyed that review and also a little spoiler discussion towards the end here now. And yeah, as always, peace out.